I have had these boots for not very long. I only got them about a month ago. That's why they look so nice. But they're really, I mean, the next in line from my original pair of black harness boots, which were, well, they served me for a long time, and they were really good boots. Good pair of boots makes you feel protected, secure. I bought them at a boot store downtown. I don't really remember which one it was. There sure are a lot. But I saw them and I knew maybe I could have found another pair cheaper or secondhand, but I just saw them and I knew I really, really wanted them. You know, sometimes you just get that feeling. The thing is, I mean, I love black harness boots because it sort of reminds me of, you know, my childhood in a way, because my favorite movie used to be Terminator 2. I remember that one scene after Arnold Schwarzenegger had just, like, you know, kicked some guy's ass in the bar and took in all his clothes and his nice boots. And then you see him roll up with that motorcycle, kick the kickstand and put his foot down. And then boom, Bad to the Bone starts playing and you see those black harness boots hit the ground. And you just knew no one could mess with who was in those boots. After seeing these boots, I knew I had to put them on. I mean, it's really hard to find size 13 boots that fit you just right, you know. And so, luckily I didn't walk in flip-flops, so I threw these bad boys on, and they just fit, you know, they fit like a good handshake, if that makes sense. And it felt good. It felt right. So, I laid my money down. I won't tell you how much they cost, because a good pair of boots always costs more than you think it will. And I just didn't even take them off. I wore them right out of the store. Chucked my old shoes in the back of my car. Started a wonderful relationship with these new boots. Had mixed reactions to the boots. I can definitely say that. I remember when I came home, you know, my dad could hear me in these boots before he even saw me because of these strong rubber soles and the 200 pounds that were on top of the boots. And he just said, "What have you done with your money?" And I told him, I just had to have them. Sometimes the choice is already made for you before you can react. Well, these are the new boots. My old ones, I wore them really, I don't know, as much as I could. When you first buy a good pair of boots, you know, you don't wear them too much because you don't want to scuff them, you don't want to mess them up, but I mean, when you love boots that much, you just take any excuse you can to throw them on and feel that power. And originally, you know, I just wear them if I was like going out somewhere not too dirty, like maybe take them to a blues bar, worked out pretty good, country bar. But then, you know, they're just so versatile. So, started taking them to, you know, concerts. They're good concert boots, that's for sure, because no one's gonna hurt your feet when you wear boots like this, I'll tell you that. I remember with the old boots, I mean, I wouldn't wear these boots anywhere too dirty or too rough, because they're just too nice to go there right now. But with the old boots, you know, I'd wore them to a couple festivals before, you know, a couple concerts, and so I said, hey, I need to be in my element, I need to have my boots. And they served me well. They got dusty, got a little bit muddy, maybe, you know, got some beer spilled on them once or twice. But I remember, I think it was like the second day, I was strolling along the dirt path, probably going to the showers, because I would still just have those boots on my way, you know, with a towel on anyway. But this guy was walking, just opposite direction, coming at me, and he was wearing some pretty hefty boots himself. But we were going right close by, and he was coming at me, and then he just sort of tripped right over my boots, and like I didn't move, but he almost hit the ground. And I knew the boots were unshakable. The boots kept me from tripping over and falling. And he just said, "Whoa, man, nice boots." I said, "You're damn right." Well, for me it was an really easy choice to choose boots over other footwear. Just because, all the strong men in the movies I used to watch, whether they were soldiers or they were cowboys or they were, rough guys, they all wore boots, they were all strong. I just think it's undeniable that, a strong man, a man with power, a man that can handle anything, he has to have his boots with him. Because, your feet, they hold up everything. Without someone to really be there to support you and protect these guys, you're just bound to fall. And, that's why I take care of my boots.
That's the village up there.
I was watching a movie the other night. It's a pretty cool movie. It had a lot of good action. It's called From Dusk Till Dawn, but it was like the prequel, not the original. And in the beginning, there's this really, rugged, like, badass bandit who's going to be hung, obviously, because he's super badass. And, of course, he was wearing, brown leather cowboy boots, because, this was, like, Mexico in, like, the 1800s or something like that, where everybody wore boots. But, to my surprise, the hangman, pulled the lever, he was dropping down to his death, but then, his accomplice obviously shot that, the rope, and he landed on his feet. When he landed on his heels, boom! These blades just came shooting out of his toes. So even though his hands were, like, tied behind his back, he was able to kill, like, I don't know, like 50 Mexicans that were trying to catch him and bring him back to justice. With his hands behind his back, all with his boots. So, the boots saved him. Obviously, those are special boots. I don't know where to buy boots with blades shooting out of their toes, because, I'd be the first one to get a pair, that's for sure. But the boots saved his life, A man's boots saved his life. And, that's a pretty extreme situation, but I won't forget that. 2 blades coming out of your boots. Wow. I think I like wearing boots so much because nothing protects your feet like a good pair of boots. And I think, it's a feeling of security when you got a good, solid, strong pair of boots on. It makes you feel like you can handle the world a little better, maybe. I don't know. But it's a reassurance. Kind of like a man's security blanket is his boots, Maybe. I'm not done with boots, Once you start getting, like, one pair, another pair, you just want to get different kinds. And by no means do I have all the kinds of boots that I want, that's for sure. Once I, have a bit of money, pretty sure I'll get a good pair of snakeskin boots. Maybe alligator skin boots. I don't know. I just think, you can tell a lot about a person's boots. Where they've been, where they want to go, how they've been treated. I think a good pair of snakeskins would say, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to doing something that I know I gotta do. Maybe a good pair of, like, alligator boots would say, I'm ready, but I'm not making any moves right now. Kind of a different thing. I don't know, when you say, like, gaiters, you kind of think like some kind of like smooth guy or, you know, a pimp or something walking down the street, but I don't know. I think the boots got to suit the person. It's a relationship. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, they think making boots out of leather, out of snakeskin, out of stingrays, or out of gators, you know, it's like bad for animals. You shouldn't kill animals. But aside from, you know, having to eat, I mean, what better reason would you have for killing an animal other than making a fine pair of boots? That's just my opinion. I remember one day, one of my days off, I woke up and I got a text from one of my buddies saying, you know, had to bounce to work really quickly, no lunch, you know, be my guardian angel and just bring me a sub or something, you know, I'm dying out here. And I figure, you know, he's on a dirty, grimy construction site. He deserved to at least stay fed while he was there, so I rolled over around noon or so, you know, chucked him the sub and a bottle of water. And I wore my boots, obviously, because, you know, they were my go-to boots. Maybe not these ones, but, you know, the old ones were more like utility boots. And I guess in hindsight, they looked like they were work boots, because they were already a little bit dirty, kind of worn in. And this guy, he just, out of nowhere, I guess it was my friend's boss, he just chucked me a pair of work gloves and said, "Hey buddy, I need your hands, you know, you mind helping out?" And I said, "Well, you pay me cash, you got a deal, man." So I was just running around helping with, you know, just being a basic laborer for the day, but, you know, I was tracking through mud with wheelbarrows full of sand and running from one end of the site to the other. I think must have like really poured down the day before, because I was just mudslinging with these bad boys, you know, almost hitting people because I was running around throwing mud everywhere. It was not very clean, I can tell you that, I really can. Because by the end of that day, I think they were like the dirtiest I'd ever seen them, you know, dirtier than taking them to work myself other days, dirtier than taking them camping or taking them to a concert. I mean, I think there was every manner of dirt in these boots by the time I pulled them off at the end of the day. I mean, there was sand in there, there was little tiny fine pebbles for underneath paving stones, there was like big rocks, there was grass in there. It was like an ecological science experiment in these boots. That is how dirty the old ones got. These, I'm gonna give them a little bit more time before they see the real trenches. Every time I gotta clean my boots, you know, I do the same thing. I don't get lazy, you know, there's a certain protocol that I follow because, hey, I take care of my boots. You invest the money that you do for a good pair, you're gonna want to take care of them. So, I mean, I do what I was told the first time I got my first pair of leather boots, and that's, you know, you start off with mink oil, you clean off, you know, all the visible leather surfaces. Me personally, you know, I do like to use Q-tips for where the leather meets the sole, just so it's all nice and clean and conditioned. You know, I use mink oil, but there's other things you can use. And then, you know, after it's all cleaned up and you don't have too much leftover oil on there, you proceed to polish them, and, you know, you can't rush it. It's really important when you're polishing that you get a nice coat on. I mean, some people even go over a second time, but that's a little crazy. I just do one good job the first time around. It's a little bit harder with the straps and the harness boots, but it's worth it to get your boots shining like that first time.